Today we are going to study about peatland fire in South Sumatra. This is a field research experience. Our experience from 2016 until now by me, Effendi Agus Waluyo from National Research and Innovation Agency. Uh, Here is an overview of outline for today. The first one is about peatland in South Sumatra, and then the second is about peatland fires and also forest and land fire controls, including peat fire in South Sumatra, especially. And then the next is peatland restoration, and then the zero burning policy. This is our research experience in South Sumatra. And then the last is about the how your contribution to peatland sustainability. Uh, let's move to the first part. Peatland it's South Sumatra. Here I share about our experience research in South Sumatra. Right, here is the peatland are essential part in South Sumatra landscape. These peatland are characterized by accumulation of peat. As we know that peat is a type of soil from decomposed plant material. Is in South Sumatra, peatland are distributed across several areas. Significantly here, the green one in Ogan Komering Ilir Regency, and then to Musi Banyuasin Regency, and also Banyuasin Regency. Understanding their distribution is crucial to effective how to manage and restore efforts to conserve peatlands in South Sumatra. And then this is the to give a clearer picture about peatland in South Sumatra. 54% in peatland in South Sumatra located in Ogan Komering Ilir, as I mentioned earlier, and then the 24% in Musi Banyuasin, and the third one is in Banyuasin, which is 15%, and in Musirawas and Muara Enim Regency, each 2%. This percentage indicate where the majority of peatlands are located in highlight that area most risk from fire and threats. And then the next is about what is the peatlands benefits for our local communities. This is the example for peatlands as a crucial natural capital for livelihood in local communities in South Sumatra. The first one is natural forest extraction, and then peatland are source of wood and other forest product. This is in peatland. And then the second one is fishing. The water body in peatlands are rich of fish, which is support for local fisheries. And then the third is sonar. Sonar is a method of planting rice. I think it's not budidaya or culture in South Sumatra. Sonar is just spread the rice paddy to the burn area of peatlands, which is this is for food security. And then the next one is edible bird nest. Edible bird nest is sarang burung walet, as in local language, or edible or swallow, or yeah, in I call in edible bird nest. These nests are highly valued and harvested from peatland areas. And then next is about purun. It's a native plant used for crafting items like mat in South Sumatra, especially in Oki, Padamaran, as we know, like tikar purun from peatland areas in Oki Regency in Padamaran sub-regency. And then for plantation, as we know, from rubber and palm oil trees. And then the next is about this is that I mentioned earlier. This first one is about the extraction of gelam or tree. This is for wood. And then this is as we know about the sonar as I mentioned. This is involve sowing rice in burn land, peatland. This is they spread paddy rice to the burn area and then just leave, and then 4 months communities or they come again to harvest the rice paddy. And then the below, this is as I call sarang burung walet or building edible bird nest. And then this one is kerbau rawa, kerbau rawa. What we call kerbau rawa? This is for grazing, kerbau pampangan, especially in Oki Regency. And then this one is about the purun. Purun is a type grass native to peat swamp. This is used for local people to create various craft, including this for mat and then for wooden goods. This plant is integral to traditional handicraft and play a role in culture heritage, especially in Oki Regency. This is from this one, and then they move. Like this is in Padamaran Timur sub-district in Ogan Komering Ilir. I took this picture in 2019. And then this one is fishing, fisheries in peatland. Fishing in peatland areas like this is in Kayu Labu. Kayu Labu is in Padamaran Timur sub-district in Ogan Komering Ilir Regency. This is common practices. The fish often for smoke fish here, and then the local fish in peatland. Okay, and the next is about peatland fire in South Sumatra. Before I explain about peatland fire, let me show the video here. This is about peatland fire.
Disappeared.
Okay.
Kayak gini ya. Masyarakat berusaha melakukan apa yang mereka bisa lakukan. Dengan membasahi supaya tidak hilang. There it is.
Yes. This is about the peatland fire in Musi Banyuasin in 2019. I experienced a particular intense peatland in Muba, especially in Musi Banyuasin. This situation is very, very dire, with smoke become so dense and fire, as we can see here, the helicopter. Yeah, the helicopter can
Kayak gini ya.
This is the local people try to combat the fire with the limitation of resources, but the scope of his is very, very big. This is incredibly challenging. This is in 2019 when I was in Muba, Muara Medak. This one is the helicopter. You know, this is very, very small, and then the smoke is very, very huge. Okay, and then the next
Disappeared.
stop. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This is the map illustrate the area most vulnerable to fire in South Sumatra, in Oki Regency. This one is the black one. Oki is particularly susceptible to fire, and then highlighting the need to target it for fire management and prevention strategy in this region. And then why this happen? Yes, you know, this one is the, as we know, this is fire triangle. In fire triangle, this is fire, and in pitland is about ground fire in pitland. Ground fire in pitland involves smoldering below the surface, producing like a huge smoke rather than visible flames. And then the type of fire known as incomplete combustion. Yeah, this is about driven by triangle, fire triangle, heat, oxygen, and fuel. Heat and fuel can manage, but oxygen is factor beyond human control, making fire management particularly complex. So we can manage heat and fuel because it is related to the people, and then we can prevent the fire by management of heat and fuel. And then this is the trajectory of
Recording
fire
stopped.
incident in South Sumatra. That's from our research.
Recording in
then
progress.
Yeah, in before independence, a few notes of forest fire. People use slash burning policy, slash burning to land preparation, and then we have in South Sumatra we have Undang-Undang Simbur Cahaya year 1629, and then after Independence Day to 1975, this is the forest conversion began, and then in 1970, and then logging continue, and expansion of agriculture and land. This is the causing of forest fire, and then self burn is still continue, and sonar as a traditional paddy cultivation system in the peatlands. Between 1975 to 1997, this is the huge forest fire in 1997, and then the first forest fire is 1982 to 1983. And then 1983, Ministry of Forestry is developed in Indonesia, and then the development industrial of timber plantation in 1984, and forest fire in 1993 and 1994, smoke neighboring countries. This is because El Nino as well. And then the massive forest land fire in 1997 become the first national disaster in Indonesia, because impact to the neighbor country, transboundary his pollution. Maybe next presenter will mention explain about transboundary his pollution, and then also El Nino. And since 1997 become annual disaster forest fire. It's like acara tahunan like that, annual disaster of forest fire and land in Indonesia, especially in South Sumatra. Okay, the next is, how about South Sumatra? This is in South Sumatra. This is about the landscape in South Sumatra. Where's the smoke? It's in here. We call in South Sumatra. I portrait this picture by myself from the interview with local people in some region in Ogan Komering Ilir Regency and Musi Banyuasin. We divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 landscape, which are talang. Talang is upland for plantation, rubber plantation, and also for palm oil tree. And then Pulu. Pulu is upland affected by river tides, and this is also for rice paddy and sawah. Sawah is rice paddy and field and or rawa lebak, we call in South Sumatra rawa lebak. And then this is the river. And where is the ground fire in pitlands? Pitlands in South Sumatra we call rawang. In local people call rawang. This is because this is incomplete combustion, so no flame bodies, but we can see only the huge smoke here. This is a portrait in South Sumatra, especially the landscape in South Sumatra is like this picture. And the conversion of pitlands here makes the forest and land of pitlands fire here. And pitlands are offer clear to expand farming and plantation area, which increase the risk of fire and contributed to his problem in South Sumatra especially. And then this one is pitland fire in Musi Banyuasin Regency. Fire incident in 2019 here. So I just here saw the picture because this is our experience deal research in South Sumatra about forest and land fire, especially in pitland fire. This is in Muba Regency in 2019. The first image show that the initial stage of the fire. This is the in the upper, and then the below one is the day after this, and then become the rapid escalation of smoke, leading to the massive smoke production and severe environmental damage here. And then this is the first day, and then this is the day after this condition become a very big smoke. And then this is people try to how to deal with the smoke, but this too big. So the fire is Nuba was so devastating. This is the thick smoke led to hazardous condition. And then this experience highlight the urgent need for effective fire management and restoration effort. And then I show you now. Here is in 2023, last year, in pitland fire in last year in Ogan Komering Ilir. This one that I mentioned earlier. This is the Purun plantation. Not plantation. This is the Purun like grass in pitland. This is in February. And the image this, and then in February there's water here, but in July in the same area, as we can see here, that the condition is different. This is the huge fire in July after maybe around 5 months from February to July. This becomes the huge fire. This is the pitland fire in Pampangan, Ogan Komering Ilir. Oh, not Pampangan. It's after Pampangan. Pangkalan Lampam, district in Ogan Regency, Ogan Komering Iring Regency. Okay, this is the portrait of peatland fire in 2023, and then this one is about the slide present the distribution burn area across different years. This is 2015, and then this the large scale fire have been extreme by El Nino condition, and demonstrating the interaction between natural phenomena and human-induced factors. This is one in 2016, and then repeat, actually repeat every year, but the big one is 4 years, which is in 2019 and 2023 due to El Nino condition. And why the peatland fires happen in South Sumatra? This is perception of the cause of forest and land fire from interview with informant in 2023. Actually, there are so many causes, but this is I take only 10. The first one is about puntung rokok, we call cigarette butts, and then the second is land clearing, and then sonar is also causes of forest fire, traditional slash and burn method, and abandoned land fishing activities, and law enforcement, unclear land ownership, or mischief, or iseng. Some people burn or peatland just want to show the helicopter come, like that. This is actually for the first time I can believe that people just they don't have a special reason why they burn the peatland. They just want to see helicopters come to their place. This is silly things, but it's happened in our region in South Sumatra. And also about the irresponsible company and public negligence. And here, how to forest and land fire controls in especially in South Sumatra. This is the burn area in South Sumatra in 2015. It's about 4600 hectare. And then in 2019, South Sumatra became the largest area with 336 hectares. And then it's repeat in 2023, South Sumatra 132 hectares. And the economic impact valuation of fire in 2015 is about 221 trillion rupiah, based on World Bank calculation in 2016. And then fire in 2019 about 73 trillion rupiah is based on World Bank calculation in 2019. But in 2023, we haven't yet the calculation about the impact economic valuation of forest and land fire in Indonesia. This one. This is the in South Sumatra. I give this one is about from Simbur Jahaya to regional police edict. Does it mitigate the risk of forest and land fire in South Sumatra? Fire control in South Sumatra have historically roots dating back to the 19th century under the Sultanate of Palembang. We have a customary law, namely Undang-Undang Simbur Cahaya. This is the in South Sumatra, and in Undang-Undang Simbur Cahaya, traditional law regulate land and land use, and this is in Pasal 20, and it's about how to land preparation using the fire here. If someone burn and other people plant such as durian, coconut, and also if the burning is due to the negligence of person who burned the land, then the person will fine at a minimum 6 ringgit and maximum 12 ringgits. And the compensation for the burned plants appropriate price, and the fine and divided half partly for those who own plants and partly for the village head. This is the how the Simbur Cahaya customary law rules how to land preparation with by using fire.
Sorry, Mr. Excuse me, for the presentation time is only 2 minutes left.
Okay. This is and then this is the about the for regional police edict or maklumat Polda. It's about the how if we burn the land. It's about punishment. And then this is the peatland restoration in South Sumatra in earlier to 2016. We issued established the Peatland Restoration Agency or Badan Restorasi Gambut. In Badan Restorasi Gambut, BRG was taken with coordination and facilitating peatland restoration in 7 priority, including South Sumatra. BRG implement restoration effort through 3R approach: rewetting, revegetation, and revitalization livelihood. And then this one is about how 3R rewetting is canal blocking or canal black filling, deep wells here, and then revitalization of local livelihood, land-based paludiculture, jelutong, swim taro, and water-based aquaculture, and ecotourism, and also carbon. This is the 3R. And then zero burning policy in South Sumatra peatlands. How community adapt to the zero burning policy on peatlands? It's back to the livelihood, no burning livelihood about bekarang. We call bekarang in South Sumatra it's fishing, and then developing edible bird nest and making purun meth. And how about enforcement and compliance with no burning policy in villagers? In some villagers have complied and ceasing burning, while others have continued to burn to maintain their livelihood. And then enforcement contribute to fire prevention, but may have also increased the fire risk, thus limiting the prevention effect. And then the multitude of challenges, including physical obstacle, resources constraint. Here the big problem is resources, and then governance reduce enforcement effectiveness. Investment is also required to support viable alternative no burning cropping methods because it's pricey. And then the public awareness raising a long-term education. This is the crucial things about the public awareness raising the long-term education are essential for accident fire prevention and the reduction of overall enforcement cost. This is about the education our to public awareness. This is the Z contribution for peatland sustainable as here. This is for agent of change, and then drive awareness as I mentioned earlier on sustainable environment practice using social media to promote peatland restoration or peatland conservation, highlight the danger of peatland degradation, and then community engagement, scientific and technological contribution, and collaboration and advocacy. This is the two example of social media promote peatland conservation. The wiki Gambut Sumsel. This is a community in South Sumatra, and then youth for peatland. This is a youth contribution to peatland sustainability, and then I think that's all for my presentation. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.